Hey my friends, welcome to this week's blog. I want to talk this week about triads, dyads, and also whether it's necessary to be a musician previous to starting the RAV. So let's take a look at what triads and dyads are, and then we'll talk a little bit about being a musician. So when people are talking about triads and dyads, they're talking about the number of notes that you're hitting at the same time. If you hit a single note, that's a very different sound than if you hit two together. Two notes together are called a dyad. If you hit three together, that's called a triad. Now, a chord, which you would play normally on guitar or instruments that are either strummed or plucked, chords are three or more notes harmonically linked with each other. So a triad, three notes together, technically would be a chord. But for this example, we're just going to talk about a triad. Now, when you're playing, using these to develop a chord progression for your song can greatly change the listenability of the music. I think that playing these for yoga and kind of exploring on them is a beautiful way to use them. But for guitar players and musicians who are interested in actual writing static songs, I think being able to make use of chords is essential in moving forward, if you want to even move in that direction. Now, I've gone over this before, but just as a reminder of what triads and dyads look like, you're taking your fingers in the shape of an L, or some people will do it with these two fingers, or even just two of your own fingers, and you're hitting two notes at once. And most of the scales are set up so that if you hit the two notes, so say the first note and the third note, and then you move up to the other two, usually the ones next to each other match, especially on the D major, pentatonic minor, and the B chord. All of those notes match very well. In triads, again, you're just using an L. I use an L on the top two notes and my thumb on the bottom. And you're hitting all three at once. And this puts you in a good position if you have pointer finger, thumb, and then thumb at the bottom to do some sort of arpeggiated chords. Now, when I'm playing these songs, I'm not thinking, okay, this is an F sharp, so that means I have an A and a C sharp that go with that. That is not what's going through my head. What's going through my head is, all right, let me play that note, or that dyad, and let's listen to what other notes create a beautiful melody on top of that chord or those two notes. So this can be done without even thinking about what notes are on this. If you're a musician and it's easier for you to remember it that way, that's great. But for a lot of people starting this, they're starting at beginning to play it without previous experience. So developing your ear and be able to hear that sounds good together. That will come in time. The more you get to know this instrument, the easier that'll be for you. And whether it's you playing completely improvisationally, or whether you're playing with a sort of fixed chord progression like I do oftentimes, you'll be able to do it. It'll just take time, and it'll take you opening up your ears and really listening to what notes sound beautiful together. So, to the point of needing to be a musician to play this instrument's designed so that anybody can pick it up. Whether you have experience with a drum, whether you have experience with a melodic instrument like a flute or a guitar or a piano, anybody who has a sense of rhythm and has some ability to hear progressions can write a song. Anybody who can basically hit or tap their thumbs can play this instrument. And different people are going to be satisfied with different levels and different styles of playing, and that's fine. So I would say that knowing triads and dyads and harmonic minor scales, pentatonic minor scales, it's useful, but don't get so caught up in that talk if you're just worried about learning this instrument. I think if you're playing with other musicians, it's great to be able to name if you're playing a mixolydian scale, you're playing a 3-1-3-5 chord progression. But for the sake of playing this, you can strip away some of those layers because it's designed to be simple to play and to have the chords laid out for you. And like I said, playing triads and dyads really opens you up to a different way of knowing this instrument and brings it more to a level of sort of the songwriter position. So I recommend anybody who plays guitar, try out triads and dyads, keep those as your root notes and build a melody off of that. Because the difference between playing that's really beautiful, but if you're adding triads and dyads do is really fill in the rest of the song for you. And you'll be able, just by fooling around, to figure out what notes are being played. And again, I'm approaching this as someone who plays 70 other instruments. And I learn them by ear, so I don't have any technical training. I've taken many classes in music theory and world music, but everything I play is by ear. So if I can do it, you can absolutely do it. So give triads and dyads a try, and I'll talk to you soon. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and please ask any questions you have down in the comments below, and we'll get back to you. Look forward to talking to you next week. Stay well.